way, thank you, Phil. This is Phil's, the 5X Phil gave me.
Looks like it fits well.
It's big on me, which means I'm losing weight.
Oh.
So here is my thing. I'm going to adjust this tomorrow, this microphone. So here's the thing. As you guys don't know, we have a rodent problem, and we've fought in years past with rats and mice, and outside there's chipmunks and squirrels. Huh?
I was helping provide the word chipmunks.
Oh,
because you looked stuck.
I wasn't stuck. Thank you, though. I have chipmunk, Allison. And so I've waged war last year, but then this happened, and this happened, and this. It's just been a pain. And so a couple of weeks ago, what I have to do now, my dog, like me, my dog is very fat. You can see Pepper right there. She's the size of a baby elephant right now. And with me, it's just a glandular thing because I live healthy. With her, I think it's sedentation and overeating. So, so the other day, sometimes she doesn't want to go outside, but she has to go outside because she wants to go to the bathroom. So what I've had to do now is take little pieces of food and throw them outside.
Yeah. So
I noticed a few weeks ago that I get the piece of food, I throw it outside, and I noticed that there were these awesome, huge, after she came back in, I just walk in the kitchen, these awesome, huge blackbirds or crows, whatever they are, they're huge, in the yard, like eating something I had thrown out there for her. She doesn't eat everything I throw out there for her. Mm. Depends how...
What's in the driveway, by the way? I was wondering.
That is barbecue pork.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just
well, that's only some of what's in the driveway. There's a lot of stuff. That's the whole point of what I'm getting to. So, anyway... I love these birds, the huge birds, and so I threw something else out there, and they hang around waiting for me to throw stuff out there. And then I got into the two things that are happening is I've started to use a burn barrel again, and one of my favorite things with a burn barrel is burning old food. So orange rinds, bananas, steak, chicken wings, bones. I just want to see if something happens. So I have this epiphany now. So that's right. So I've started dumping some food on the property and drinks too, like that lemonade that had rum in it with green.
Your Grinch grog.
Grinch grog, yeah. I was dumping this stuff like on the snow and just to see what happens. It's our property anyway. Before it gets seized, I just want to have fun with it, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had like a mocktail that had red food coloring in it. You sprayed that out across the snow, so it looked like somebody was murdered.
Yeah, I did a bit with my son. He had one of those little gag nail in his finger things, so I put that behind him. All this blood in the snow. It was really probably not wise if he shows it to his class. But anyway, so it occurred to me, Alice, I had a Isaac Newton moment. You know who Isaac Newton is?
Yeah.
Namesake.
Came up with gravity, calculus.
But mostly the namesake of Newton, Massachusetts, not the Fig Newton.
Okay. So
it occurred to me that if I can keep getting food out in the yard, that maybe...
Does anyone listening to this wonder why we have rodents, by the way?
How come that registered when I sniffed it, but my mic is off?
I don't know.
Okay. So anyway... I want there to be. We used to have when we had the chickens. We had hawks like hanging out, sitting on our property, looking for the chickens all over the place. Patrols over the house. It was great. I need that to happen so that all the rodents die. But the only way I can get the birds to be around here is to get food out there. Maybe I should put it on like a pike or something. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I should put it up high. I should put the food up high because I'm worried that I have an all-you-can-eat buffet now for ground creatures. That all the mice and rats from all the adjoining towns are like, dude, there's just food out there. You don't even have to climb anything. So anyway, that's my conundrum. It would be a perfect year for me in perfect synergy if I could somehow use this food. I got to put it high. That's what I have to do.
Please don't.
Yes, I can put it high. In a way that I can get birds of prey back here. I want them back. I used to not want them around. I want them back here so much. I love them, and I need them to kill these little animals. The only thing we have is a feral cat comes by sometimes. But like today I saw the squirrel come out of our shed and like rush into the wall that they're destroying. I'm like, these guys have a whole compound, like what's the area where all the hospitals are in Massachusetts? In Boston.
Longwood?
Yeah, this is a Longwood for all sorts of little animals to live like comfortably. So we'll see how that goes. I want to attract these birds.
I don't think it would behoove birds of prey in the area to eat any rodents living in our general vicinity.
I think it's just fine.
No, I don't think it would.
I think I know what you're saying.
Okay.
And it's okay. You know, if a few birds of prey, hopefully, who knows, Alice? Maybe they've built up a resistance to iocane poisoning.
Oh.
It's possible. Who knows? Anyway, that's what's going on at our house. All right. So, Alice.
So, in terms of the news, I'm like blackpilling. I think you're going to have to talk me down because I just feel like this stuff is so bad. It's so bad. And believe me, I'm the first to say that I think the ICE officer was totally justified in shooting that woman who is a lunatic who spent her time trying to disrupt ICE operations with her wife or girlfriend or whatever. And, but, you know, having talked to like some normal people around over the course of like the weekend, I think that the imagery of it is like too toxic, and these people believe too much absolutely insane crap that's been pushed on them by the media and these organizations. And like looking at the responses on Twitter, how many people are like, ICE has no jurisdiction over American citizens. Like, they can't tell you to do anything. Like, they believe this stuff, and it's insane. Yeah. And we live here with so many of them. Like, I just don't see how ICE can do their job and get people out of the country with this happening. I don't see how we're not going to have more bad scenes like this with them continuing to disrupt and get in the middle of these things, more, you know, violence, deaths, whatever. Well, because the left is encouraging their people to go out here and get in the way of legitimate law enforcement activities. And they're going to continue to have bad interactions with law enforcement, which are going to be increasingly delegitimized. I mean, there's a bunch of people who already think ICE and any immigration enforcement is illegitimate altogether. You have now like mayors and governors saying we can't have ICE here. They're illegitimate. They're murdering people in the streets. They're kidnapping people. Like,
a woman wanted to get home to see her child, Alice.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, the fact that so many people believe this is actually kind of really bad. And it's really bad, not for nothing, because during the Biden administration, I don't know, estimates are between like 10 and 15 million people probably entered the country illegally. Trump's on track to deport. I mean, I guess the administration is saying in the first year of his presidency, between like self-deportations and real deportations, it's like 2-point-something million. So like we're not, even at the current rate, we're nowhere near being able to even remove just the people that arrived during the Biden administration.
Yeah.
Like, and that's with them all screaming that it's illegitimate and they're not even allowed to deport those people. No. So what we have now is a situation where every time we have Democrats in power, and sometimes when we have Republicans in power, just anybody who's able to get a toe over the, you know, the touchdown line into the end zone of America, they are permanently now just as American as you and me and can't be deported. And in fact, you're the secret police if you try to deport them. And we're going to bring in tens of millions of them. They're going to be allowed to defraud the American people with massive welfare fraud, Medicaid.
They're our neighbors, Alice.
They're going to be with impunity, with absolutely like nobody caring at all that there's rampant fraud in these programs, and you're not allowed to deport them. You're not allowed to do anything about it. And like, and just like looking at the news and public opinion polling, like support for ICE has gone way down. People don't like confrontation and ugly scenes and mean stuff. They don't like seeing this stuff. The press is going to continue to broadcast it. The left is going to continue to shriek hysterically. Like, I just don't see what way... I don't see what way out of this there is. Like, the left wants to wreck the country, and I'm just feeling like maybe it's too far gone. Like, because we live in a country with a bunch of people that can't be convinced of anything resembling reality.
You know what it is, Alice? It's the let them touch those things moment. It is Celine Dion during, I don't know if she says in this clip, but I'm going to try, during...
helicopters?
Yeah, Hurricane Katrina, when it's showing everybody looting after Katrina.
Superstar, she's in her dressing room at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas.
There's a television right now. I'm watching and I'm especially waiting, like the rest of the world. I'm waking up in the morning, I'm having a coffee, I barely can swallow it. Some people are stealing and they're making a big deal out of it. Who cares? They're not going to go too far with it. Some of the people who do that, they're so poor, they've never touched anything in their lives. Let them touch those things for once. And they're watching helicopters flying over their heads. And they're praying. How come it's so easy to send planes in another country to kill everyone in a second, to destroy lives? We need to serve our country. I'm sorry to say I'm being rude. Maybe I'm too much I'm not thinking with my head. I'm talking.
Right. Let them touch those things. And stupid ICE with their helicopters flying overhead. Yeah. And that's what it is, this blind, erratic compassion. Let them touch those things without thinking about any kind of downside to any of it. It is such self-hatred. And
it's crazy because, and there's been a ton of examples of that, but I won't go through them all because it's like depressing. But even the movement that this woman died to defend hates her because she's a white woman. There's the clip of the lady talking to the news reporter who's like, they're uncomfortable marching for a white woman because, of all her privilege. There's a plethora of examples on social media of people saying you're not allowed to say her name or rest in power about her because those are black people things. Like, it's never enough for them. They don't care. You can literally, their directions demand that white people go put their bodies on the line to defend brown people from the evil police. Like, I don't understand why you would go be a part of a movement like that, but I guess I'm just missing. Maybe I'm missing the empathy card or something, like that chip I don't have. But I think it has to do with something, and there was a really big Twitter thread that I saw this week that I thought was really interesting, where somebody was saying essentially that a whole bunch of people are LLMs, and that essentially a large language model like ChatGPT and these things, that essentially what they're doing, they don't understand stuff.
Yes.
They're just associating words together in an order that seems like it's likely to mean something about what you're saying to it.
Well, sure.
They're probability engines. They're saying what's a likely next word for this kind of word, what goes together. They said this, now a response that looks like a human response to that is this. But there's a bunch of people who are like that in real life who aren't really processing what you're saying when you're this lady, was pointing her car at they're just repeating things about things that are sort of related. Well, actually, she was just trying to escape. Wouldn't you be scared if masked men came up to your car? They don't care. They're not trying to comprehend the point that you're making and come up with a logical response. They're just saying words.
Right.
ICE has no jurisdiction over American citizens. They're not allowed to arrest you.
It's put in the prompt, have this mean the ICE guy is bad and the lady is good. Okay, and then you wait for a few seconds and it said, what's her name, Becca?
Renee.
It said, Renee Good was in her car smiling, saying, I'm not mad at you, before the cop shot her and then said, bitch. And that's what they're going with. They're literally going with, that's what happened. Oh, well, really? She was smiling at him saying, I'm not mad at you.
Her
in her
glove
car.
compartment was full of stuffed animals.
Right, and then he shot her and said, bitch, see? Extracting everything that means anything. And Jacob Fry said the same thing. They're all saying this stuff. All of this stuff. And it is, there's a few pieces to this. One is
Splash
that it
raises-
has been since the 60s now. Go ahead, what does Splash say?
He says that, well, he says you look like a Costco squeezable mustard bottle. But other than that, he says that
Squeezable monster bottle.
mustard bottle.
Oh, yeah. I have a history with yellow. We'll go over it sometime.
But he says that if they allowed the police to assist ICE agents, this never would have happened. Obviously,
Right.
the easiest way for ICE to gather people would be for the state of Minnesota and the municipalities to honor ICE detainers, have people in jail, and let ICE just pick them up there when they commit other crimes. That would be
But-
the simplest approach. And then ICE wouldn't have to be in neighborhoods. They could end all these confrontations right now if they wanted to. But of course, they want these confrontations. They
And-
want more Renee
right.
Goods because they think that this is helpful to them politically to have people shot by ICE agents.
That is certainly a factor. But here's Jacob Fry this morning saying, yeah, we're not going to send our cops out there to help.
Let me press you a bit because Tom Homan, the border czar, says Minneapolis's sanctuary city policy, just for our viewers, that effectively shields undocumented immigrants from deportation, makes it harder for ICE to enforce immigration law. How do you respond to that argument that your city's stance in eliminating cooperation with ICE has made it harder for federal law enforcement to safely enforce immigration laws in your city?
Yeah, look, what our policy says is that I don't want our police officers spending time working with ICE on immigration enforcement. Because why? That's not our primary job. You know what I want our police officers doing? I want them stopping murders from happening. I want them preventing carjackings. And by the way, they're doing a hell of a job right now. We've only had 2 shootings in Minneapolis this whole year. And by the way, 50% of them were from ICE. So I want our officers focusing
The fact that he's being cute and having fun with this tells you where he is.
Yeah.
But these people are here, and they are all breaking laws in your area. But you once again let them touch these things. No, not them. Those aren't the people we're going after. Those aren't the people we're going after.
safety. You know what I don't want them doing? I don't want them spending a single second hunting down a father who just dropped his kids off at daycare, is about to go work a 12-hour shift, who happened to be from Ecuador. That guy, he makes Minneapolis a better place, and I am proud to have him in our city.
This dandy pansy is the problem. Of course, so that's fine. And these people are more special. They can break a bunch of laws because I put a value system on them that they're better than you haters. They're better than you. You people who've been here for generations and working hard, and complain about property taxes, complain about the crime. And part of the problem is, and one of the reasons why these women were happy to, first of all, he's not correcting them. So this we're now into 5-6 generations of 3 or 4 maybe generations of leftists in this country feeling entitled. They feel entitled to I'm allowed to take over the administration building of colleges, and the colleges just let them do it. We're allowed to take over the campus of colleges. We're allowed to take over Zuccotti Park and other places for that stupid thing that they had, and everybody let them break the law. They're so entitled. They feel like everything we do, I'm entitled to. I'm entitled to, because it's for the greater good. I'm entitled to park perpendicularly here. I'm entitled to not listen to the cops. I'm entitled to drive towards the cop and smile at him. I'm entitled to do everything. And they think they are. And they left this guy, like this little pansy, he does nothing to dissuade them at all. Nobody's correcting them on their side. Nobody is. They'd rather see them get killed, and they will get killed.
Right. They're giving them these ideas. They're telling them, I'm still seeing people post stuff like, by the way, you're allowed to sarcastically comment to cops and record them and yell at them while they're arresting your friends and neighbors. That's allowed. Like, sure, but you're not allowed to obstruct their investigation. I mean, there's videos of the minutes leading up to this, too, when they're blocking roads and honking horns and yelling at people. This whole thing is like, it's so bad. All the people involved are so ugly. All the people telling more idiots to go out here and get in the way of ICE and disrupt ICE. Like, they're telling people essentially that they have a heckler's veto over United States immigration law on their own.
Right, which is law that has been voted on by the House of Representatives, by the Senate. This is stuff like these people. This is where this stuff comes from. These people, and now you've got Chris Murphy and all these other little dweebs on the Sunday shows saying ICE are Nazis. So ICE are under orders by your legislation to go out and do this. And it's just amazing that they could.
Well, and it's funny because it's really eye-opening how disingenuous they are too, because and why you can't like give anybody on the left an inch or like 1 second of good faith discussion about any of this stuff is it's like, do you remember that clip from like a couple months ago of the couple? It's that sort of like tech pro-natalist couple, and they're talking to the reporter whose dad is Jorge Ramos. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm talking about? Anyway, they're talking to her and they're in an argument. He says something like, she says something about how, like, how can you think that, like, genes determine your race or something? And he's like, well, obviously, like, your genes determine what race you're. And they, like, get in this argument where she's like, genes, that's a myth. Like, the experts say that, like, genes don't determine your race. And he's, like, trying to argue with her, but it's impossible. And one of the interesting things I saw somebody say about it that's like in line with the LLM thing is leftists don't view words as like a way to have a discussion to come to the truth of what happened. No. They're not trying to use their words and their arguments to like have a reasoned conversation so we can see eye to eye. Yes. They consider words to be magic spells. And if I say the right words at you, you'll do what I want. Yes. And so they try this stuff like where they'll say stuff that they think is sympathetic to right-wingers to try and get them to think that they agree. It was kind of like during the defund our police stuff, they would say like, well, actually, what we really want is for the police to have more funding so that they are better trained and so that they blah, blah, blah. And they have, crisis prevention counselors and like, they're like trying to come up with stuff that they think is going to be like an argument that works on you, or they'll like quote the Bible at Christians, even though they don't believe it. They're just trying to come up with stuff they think you'll find rational. Not because they think it's true, but just they think it's useful. And you see that happening all over this. They'll say stuff like, you know what? ICE is just inexperienced and panicked too. I want more and better training for the ICE agents so these situations don't happen. Well, that line of argument went away because this guy has 10 years of experience. He's not some new ICE agent recruit that they pulled off the street that panicked. As a matter of fact, he showed a ton of restraint in only firing 3 shots because most cops are trained if they've determined there's a deadly threat and they have the legal right to stop a person with deadly force, they're allowed to keep shooting. Right. And so he only fired 3 shots. They're incredibly quick. By the time the vehicle was clear of them, he had stopped in any conscious way shooting. It's so disingenuous. He was highly experienced, highly efficient. Now they're trying to pull this line of argument like, well, just because it wasn't legally murder, it doesn't mean it was morally correct. They're trying to ruin the guy. Yes, they are. And first of all, his name got out there. Mm-hmm. And now they're like the same people who are like, why do you have to wear a mask? They're like, say his name. Now they've got his name out there. Right. Also a big thing in the talk shows today was that he was standing there, holding a cell phone, recording her. Okay. So obviously he wasn't afraid. So all these different things, they keep having to move off of their last place. But here's another thing. Every Democratic politician, everybody on social media, and everybody on the left should say, if this woman didn't do anything wrong, which she didn't, this is how you just simply go home to check on your child, then they should endorse and encourage all protesters to do the same exact thing. And they do. So you can do the same exact thing anywhere you want. And by that measure, too, if I'm driving down the road and I see somebody pulled over for a speeding ticket, I should be able to intercede in that. What's the difference? It's the same exact thing. I've got a problem with some jackboot who is... Yeah, you can box in the police car if a cop has pulled somebody over and let them know that you don't think they have the right to do anything about it. But the left would say, I'm not entitled to that because I'm not a good... They're good people, so they know that they're entitled because they're morally just higher. But all their arguments, none of it's really an argument. It's all just spell casting, word salad. Like, if I find the right combination of words here, I'll be able to get these people to agree to stop Trump's deportation policy. Yeah. What is it that Kajadi John Jackson says? Mic drop? What?
No, it's like mic drop. It's oh, come on, it's like that.
She did end something with like period or something, didn't
Yes.
she?
Oh, guys, could you remember what it was? Yeah. Damn. But that's what I thought you meant when you were talking about language. Is that their words are meant to slam the door.
Yeah,
you know?
and they just want. They don't like believe or disbelieve. To say they believe what they're saying is even not true. They don't even disbelieve or believe what they're saying. They don't care if it's true because that's not what's important to them. The idea to them is, what can I say to these insane right-wingers to get them to do the policy that I want? Like, they don't care if the words that they say are true or make sense or anything else. That's, like, not important to them at all.
Right. But that's why, like, they're sloganeering.
Full stop.
Full stop. Julia. That's right. See that? You can't, well, I guess it's done. It's full stop. That's it. It's full stop. I mean, that guy, remember the guy last year who yelled when they were talking about LGBTQ in the panel? He's like, I'm not going to have anti-transphobic conversation words that happen here. I'm not sitting transphobic.
Well, and have you followed the Bowen Yang thing?
Who's that?
Okay, Bowen Yang is like the Asian guy who stopped being on SNL like a little while ago.
Yeah. I haven't. I know that he's done.
Yeah, he's done with SNL. He's in the Wicked movies, whatever. Anyway, so he was on a podcast of somebody this week. Let me see if I can find the clip again to re-up it. I did put it in here, but I've sent you so many things. I'm sure it's like way buried. But basically, he was on a podcast with some other gay guy. I don't know what podcast it is. And they're talking about just in passing, they mention the Texas, whatever, is it a Senate race, a governor's race? I don't even know. The one that Jasmine Crockett is looking at being in. Yeah. So here, let me send you this clip again. See if you can tell me what happens here when this podcast comes out.
Anytime a politician is making it too obviously about themselves, I'm already done.
We're out.
Don't waste your money sending to Jasmine Crockett. Do not do it.
I must agree.
Don't do it. You're going to waste your money. Anytime.
That's the whole clip.
Why would they say that? By the way, Alice.
Because she's not going to win.
Well, hold on. First of all, I think, do we know that voice?
I'm Oliver Darcy. And I'm John Passantino.
Was that one of them?
No, it's not. The guy has a different name.
Okay, so... But
Matt Rogers? I don't know who he is. Because she'll lose. So don't waste your money sending money to her.
No, I don't mind if we have. I'm all for it. But have we switched topics?
No, this is like related to what I'm saying.
How so?
Because the point isn't what they say there, which is like an obvious, like, why would you send money to Jasmine Crockett? That's like not a controversial statement. Most people would think, right? But it turns out if you're an American leftist, which these two guys are, this is a highly controversial,
I see,
blatantly racist, misogynistic, horrific thing to say. They have apologized. They've issued a statement.
That's great.
They call him like a self-hating, white adjacent. Bowen Yang quit SNL to sit on a podcast to fulfill his lifelong dream of being a white gay. They need to keep Jasmine Crockett's name out of their mouth. Another Asian obsessed with proximity to whiteness. That's why nobody's heard of him and his career is sure to die. They wrote a 2-page statement on how they shouldn't have weighed in on the Jasmine Crockett Senate
you're
race.
Still doing this? Oh, you pussies! Come on.
But they are. But that's how their side works. That's what they feel that they can do. And I mean, there's people posted like the polling to show that Jasmine Crockett has super high negatives.
Not everybody in Texas is stupid.
And like, there's no. It's a totally uncontroversial thing to say. Don't waste your money to send. But on the left, that's unacceptable. And that shows like what their movement is like. That's why it's not a new topic and why we're not moving on, because that's how they react to everything. If somebody on the left actually said, like, maybe this woman shouldn't have been here when she has a little kid getting in the way of ICE officers and trying to stop them from doing their job, which is a felony, by the way. You can't obstruct federal agents in the middle of their arresting people, then you'll be yelled at. Their entire side, you have to be on board for everything.
Yeah.
And even Renee Good friggin' died for this. That's still not enough. She's still like, we can't. Nope, rest in power isn't for her. You can't say that about her.
Doesn't that just show you that the super progressive movement wasn't supposed to be this big? Because you've got one of the titular heads of the whole thing is Bernie Sanders, who's against AI. You can't have that be one of your things.
They're all against AI. They're going to be against AI. They're going out here. They're marching. You still have, at these protests, people bringing little kids to them. There's a woman that was out there being interviewed who has a baby at them. They're going to go friggin' disrupt. I mean, it'll be a miracle if the next person who's not killed by ICE when their parent gets in the face of some ICE officer isn't a little kid. It's a disaster.
Well, and why do they bring the little kids, Alice?
Specifically to use as human shields for this insane behavior.
So that you can say ICE is ripping children out of the hands of their mothers. They want to be able to say it. Well, if they say it anyway.
I mean, it's just insane behavior. And the fact that we have so many people that are apparently susceptible to this level of delusion and insanity is it's just depressing me. I don't know. This is why I'm blackpilling.
A good woman named Ashley on Twitter said the woman killed today in encounter with ICE agents is dead because liberals gaslit her into thinking she could do whatever she wanted and call it social justice. Right. Here's Jacob Fry.
In the immediacy following the shooting, you heard people from the Trump administration saying that the victim was a domestic terrorist. You heard that the ICE agent was acting entirely in self-defense. And here's the thing. You don't need to take my word for it. His
affectation of alpha maleness is belied by his dog-collared Somali walks and eating their food and dancing among them.
Need to take their word for it. Watch the video. The ICE agent was not run over, as Trump stated. You had a person that was definitively trying to just get out of there. They were trying to leave the scene. That is not a person that's trying to run an ICE agent over. You have a person that is trying to protect our city, to look out for our neighbors. And by the way, there are 435,000 people throughout Minneapolis that are looking out for their neighbors right now because they understand the magnitude of this moment. And they understand that the endurance of our republic depends on us looking out for each other. And we're standing strong here in Minneapolis.
When Lee Harvey Oswald got shot or got apprehended at the theater, he was just trying to get out of there. You got a man, you kidnapped a man, disappeared a man who was just trying to get out of a theater. A man who just wanted to see a movie and get out of a theater.
Well, but he's right. There's thousands more people who are out there to, quote, protect their neighbors, who are literally in the middle of scamming them and stealing their money and think they're all sitting ducks and chumps and don't care at all that she's dead. And
here's one of them.
They're all thrilled.
If they are saying that he has 10 years on service and is trained, he should know that you shouldn't be trying to get in front of a moving car. And if
yeah, it wasn't moving until she was moving it. And, I've seen a lot of discussion of the fact that he's holding a cell phone too. And none of this even matters. It's not worth arguing with because they're not arguing in good faith. They're not serious. But if for some reason the fact that he's holding a cell phone matters to you, it's because, as is clear from his footage, he's using the cell phone to go all the way around the car, record them and their statements and the license plate as evidence for the federal crime they are committing by obstructing the federal agents. He's evidence gathering, walking around her car. And I mean, there's a bunch of information out there about the so-called wife too.
Right.
Which I don't know the extent to which it's true. There's fake mugshots of the lady. It's all horrible. It's all horrible. And the behavior is bad. Everyone's insane. Tensions are so high. And I just think that I think to normal people, all of this looks so bad that, that, I completely think it's in the right, but I don't see how it how it helps us get illegal immigrants out of the country. And I think there's like too many normal people now who like don't even want illegal immigrants out of the country.
Well, I think, yeah. And you've got in Maine, of course, the Lewiston, Maine stuff where a charity for Lewiston, Maine shooting victims was used in part for these scams, for these Somali scams. And you are drawing cultural battle lines here that are going to be a problem.
We told you about how a small community in Maine alleges that money for mass shooting victims instead went to a Somali-linked nonprofit. Well,
and that's all over the Maine Wire, by the way. Not to just plug where I work, but it's so unbelievable. That's just the beginning of the story that the Maine Wire has. Let's see, is there any more? Oh, I want to run something by you that really, and we can talk about more in the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know why you think all these Democrats are condemning anti-Semitism overnight with the same exact verbiage.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about, why is Tucker Carlson in the White House to meet with the oil executives after he was complaining that we're invading Venezuela for oil or something? Like, whatever. Let's get to all that. I want to talk about Ashley St. Clair, too.
Oh, yeah, she's moved on to something new. Is that the one who got knocked up by Elon? Or is that
yes.
Okay, yeah.
We'll talk about her, too, because she's nuts also.
Okay.
It's disappointing. Everybody's disappointing me today.
Sorry about that, Albie. Even me in my yellow shirt. Thank you again, Phil, by the way. Okay. I'm forgetting. What am I doing?
We're doing the chat.
Okay.
And then we'll go to the Patreon show.
All right. Oh, there it is. There we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Billy from Manchester. You know, I know you're sick. I know you're tired from your new job. But, I mean, can you just, play along? I know it's not John Featherstone. I know it's Featherston. I know that it's not Southern Fried Chicken at the Chicken Shack. I know it's not a random place. I mean, just can you? I'm trying hard here to entertain my audience, and you're letting in the secrets now. I get it. It's a joke. Everything's a joke.
I get it.
And you're
it's a
kind
bit
of ruining it, Tom.
This is he's so a friend of Steve. Thank Billy.
You're the step-on host. You're stepping on Billy's.
I was sorry about that, but I can tell you one thing: my cold is lesser so now, and my sinuses and nasal stuff has begun working as of like 2 days ago. I actually got sleep at night. Wow. My CPAP worked rather than just stuff. It's like I was thinking that this is it. I was doing coughing fittings. I'm like, okay, I can't have my HVAC system break down because that's everything. But no, I am on the upswing, thankfully. Who knows how else? Maybe a little sturdy wings tomorrow.
That'd be nice.
First time with wings?
Can always spot a newbie.
Tom, did you hear that the actor who played Fargen Icehole in Johnny Dangerously passed away?
No.
He was 83. He was in a bunch of other stuff. I couldn't give you films that he was in.
Alice, have you seen Johnny Dangerously?
No.
Do you know what Fargen Icehole means?
No.
Okay.
Because he was a character actor, so he was in a ton of different other things.
He must have been a stand-up, I assume.
But anyway, how is Lionel, by the way? Is he still chasing you down and yelling at you because you're speeding through the tiny hamlet you live in? You drive like a maniac? Is that still going on? Or aren't you on some board with him now?
I'm not on the board.
He like one of your co-workers or something?
No, I'm not. Although I've seen him. I saw him just a month ago or so sitting in his driveway. I don't know what he does anymore. I have not bumped into him. It is funny how a lot of these guys who have moments cool real quick when they get a call from the cops. And he's one of these. He's just a classic pussy who I had, I don't know. I don't know. He was a dickhead, but we find all sorts of people. He's like one of these people who he's made an ass out of himself too much, so he hides. But had he not, one of these people, he'd be one of those people torching everybody on Facebook. saying, like, I went to the dumpster and I noticed the boxes and I got your name now. And like, the small town, midtown. It's like I look at the Melrose Facebook page and I'm like, there's so many terrible people in everybody's business. During COVID, they're ratting each other out. And then I'm like, thank God we moved here. And the moment I do that, then we're ratting each other out up here too. And of course, many people up here are from down there near Boston who wanted to get more room and have brought their freaking politics up here, which is why we had to get rid of the nameless HMs from the team. But that's not my problem anymore. Anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Billy from Manchester.
Hey, Billy.
Tom was pitching for us to, support Patreon so he can get more money so
Yes.
he can do different things. I'm wondering, what are those different things? We're going to do different innovative things on the show. They've been stuck in that room for years doing the same damn show the whole time. The only thing that this Patreon is paying for is Taco Bell and McDonald's. That's the only thing I can think of. So I'm happy to pay.
Thank you,
but
Billy.
don't tell me you're going to do more content on this show within the same room with the same lights, with the same grossness. Ah, pathetic. 43 seconds, 34 seconds, 35 seconds.
Let me give you some credit, Billy. You absolutely, and that's the worst kind of criticism. The only criticism that really like gets me is when I know the person's like totally accurate. I've heard other hosts say like it allows us, your contributions allow us to do so much. So I tried that, when they say that, and allows us to do. We literally would have to be making a few $100,000 for it really to allow us to do all that much more. And then we could just do this.
You have used some of the funds to buy lights for the studio.
No, it's no doubt about that. No doubt about that. But really, Alice, the big pieces of equipment here have been pity donations.
Right.
Which reminds me, actually, I gotta check one of our Burn Barrel emails. To check on, I think Dennis. Wasn't it Dennis who got us this?
Mm-hmm.
Or was Denny or Dennis? It's Dennis.
I think it was.
Yeah. And anyway,
I'll look.
Yeah, do look because he sent us an email. But you're right, Billy. I don't know the right way to solicit stuff. Everybody, the lady who got her girlfriend killed is already up 150 grand. Maybe that's what we do, Alice. The big one, we hit. Maybe that's our problem. We're not full whore. And other people like blind, like pounds.
I think it might be a different Dennis than the one who's been emailing recently.
Oh, okay.
It's a different last name.
Okay. All right, here we go. Ready?
So let me get this straight. You're 53 years old.
Yes.
Which means you should have seen Hoosiers.
This is replica Shattuck.
Probably somewhere around 35 years ago at the very latest.
Yep.
And you're upset with Gene Hackman kissing Barbara Hershey, who he was probably 17, 18 years older than.
Yes.
But you simply have no problems with the statutory rape that you have done over the years to somebody that is probably, 15, 16 years younger than you?
It's not statutory rape. You're
that
talking
makes
about it.
No sense, Tommy.
So
Be better.
A couple things to replica on this. It's not. Alice was 23 when I met her. I believe that's legal, right? But she is 14 years younger. Mm-hmm. That is correct. So that is scandalous indeed, which I'm fine with because it's scandalous in my favor. As far as the Hoosiers, I wasn't going to watch a movie in the 80s about some dudes playing college basketball. Give a frig. That was not my bailiwick back there. There are some movies that I need to see still, but I wasn't going to see Hoosiers. I only saw it because one of you guys told me to see it. And by the way, I just don't like seeing old guys kiss people. I don't want to see me kiss people.
Billy from Manchester. Justin is 100% right. They're living in a video game, these people, and he's right. Reality set in, and she couldn't, GTA herself out of this situation.
Yeah.
And reality set in, and she caught the wrong guy. She caught the guy that got hit, and 6 months ago, and got dragged 300 feet, and he wasn't going to put up with that BS anymore. And that's what happened. So Justin, 100% right. 33 seconds.
Great chat message. You're absolutely right. Can't argue with one piece of it.
Welcome to this week's episode of Great Hollywood Actors with Tom Shattuck. This week we'll be covering the great career of Gene Hacksack. Such movies as The French Connection,
Yeah, I didn't see
Unforgiven,
it.
The Conversation, Bonnie and Clyde.
I haven't seen none of these except for The Unforgiven. So far.
Hoosiers, Mississippi Burning,
Yep.
Royal Tannenbaums.
Mississippi Burning, I think I saw. Was that the one where Sandra Bullock was tied to a tree, naked mostly? Was that one? Royal Tannenbaums, I did see, but I don't like it. I don't like that.
That's like a new-ish movie, isn't it?
I don't like that dude's stuff with his silly soundtrack in zany colors and stuff. I have no time for that stuff anymore. I bought into it during Rushmore, but I'm done with. Was it Wes Anderson? That's it. His right.
That's a name you're looking for. I have no idea.
I'm done with his cute crap.
Royal Tannenbaums, Superman.
Superman, he was great in. Great in.
Crimson Tide, Night Moves, Scarecrow, Get Shorty, and a host of other movies.
Get Shorty was a really underrated movie. It was a great movie. James Gandolfini, Travolta. That was a great movie. A lot of these other ones I haven't seen, Tommy.
Is that underrated, though? I think people like that movie.
Yeah, I know, but it should be more closer up there with Goodfellas, I think.
Gene Hacksack, a true American hero.
I didn't call him Gene Hacksack, did I?
I have no idea. You know,
I wouldn't think so.
Intention.
Thank you. Nice
Maybe
to hear
it
from you,
sounded
Tommy.
like that through your cold.
Leave for more messages, Tommy. Come on. All right. All these guys in the thread sending pictures of hot chicks. What's scandalous. No, meanwhile, I'm trying to have adult conversations with them.
Mm-hmm.
It's pathetic.
Obviously, I've been on a little bit of a break. I went down another true crime wormhole for a while, but I went back and listened to everything. I just didn't comment because obviously the episodes were a couple weeks old. But during this whole time, obviously, there's been a lot of Israel stuff.
Has there?
And a lot of people going a certain way. And I don't really understand Tucker Carlson's thing and Megyn Kelly's thing and what Israel has to do with Charlie Kirk thing.
Oh, so it's been a while. Yeah, believe me, I don't understand.
When did we go from Israel is getting bombed every day, then they do a horrific attack that was greater than the size of 9/11 in scale, murdering women and children and all this other stuff, to trying to end the terrorism and trying to end the people that are trying to kill them, to now that Israel is basically just killing everybody and they're in charge of everything.
Yeah.
How did these people lose their minds? I don't see anything that says anything about that. I don't see any base behind that. So I wanted to ask you guys what you thought about that for a while, because it seems very, very weird.
Replica, I think we were stunned to see it that on October 8th, suddenly people were all mobilized against Israel. It just turned on a dime. I am shocked. I didn't see this coming. I didn't know that there was an encroaching anti-Semitism from the right as well.
Well, and like the Israel killed Charlie Kirk stuff.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, or that like the reason why we got Maduro is because Israel made us do it because the Zionists are like pulling the strings. Like it's. I mean, we're in bizarro world.
I wonder if like Twitter has brought us to the point here where it just made us bored, and like we're like okay, just do something more extreme now. I don't know.
Hey, Billy from Manchester. I'm still thinking about Tom asking for more Patreon dollars.
Yeah.
So he can put more money into the show. This past couple weeks, the microphones haven't worked.
Yeah. See?
The cameras are falling apart. Everything is just a mess in there. And at least, you know what? How about this? Take the Patreon money and hire a nanny to get those kids out of the studio so I could actually listen to a show and not have to worry about little him and little this, using this podcast as their distraction iPad. I mean, come on, just do that instead. I'd be very happy with that.
Nanny's expensive. That's gonna please get more people on Patreon.
That's more expensive than like all new equipment. Nannies are pricey.
I know. Plus, we have to get a hot one, so those are even more pricey.
Thank you so much for listening. If you are on Patreon, you can stay. There's extra content there each week, so we're going to go do that. We're going to talk more about, we didn't even talk about any of the Iran stuff. We didn't talk about Ashley St. Clair, or what was the other thing you said you wanted to talk about?
This condemnation of Hamas.
Oh, right. Patreon.com/burnbarrel.
C'est la vie.